I fucking knew it.
Welcome to the newest episode of the cheapest podcast. My PC was having some issues, and it couldn't play audio, which we need to in order to see our setup of the podcast. But now we are good. I'm Maximus. I'm pissed off.
Hello.
Now it's just playing sound, whatever. Hello. I'm with
Mr. Frog.
Glup.
Glep. I'm Alan.
Okay. Well, I said my actual name, so I need to fit the theme now. I'm Mr. Boss.
Of fucking course.
I'm Googly Goo.
I love you, Nolly. And I love you, Grim.
Yep. Looks like I'm ugly boo.
In any case, welcome to our latest episode. We're going to start with our first segment, which is our box office wager, where we waged $1 each to see what would be the biggest movies of the summer. No real big news this weekend, aside from Inside Out eating everyone's ass at the box office. It had the best second weekend ever for an animated film, like ever, with over $100 million in the second weekend. It is performing better than Barbie last year, which is telling you how big this movie is. Granted, Barbie had an Oppenheimer beside it, but different audiences. For instance, this movie has $400 million so far, according to Box Office Mojo. In comparison, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is at 165. That's how far away we are right now. In terms of what opened this past weekend, we had the Bikeriders, which opened with about $9.6 million. I actually saw it. It was actually kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie to you, which is kind of sad. We also had The Exorcism with Russell Crowe, which is, again, remember, this is not the Pope's Exorcist sequel. This is another exorcism movie starring Russell Crowe.
You keep saying that, but I'm not convinced.
He looks like the exact same character, too. I have not seen The Exorcism. I have seen Pope's Exorcist, and that movie is bad but funny. And also we had Thelma, a surprise wide release about a grandma who gets scammed out of her money, so she goes out on the prowl. A 90-year-old June Squibb plays the lead role.
That's just the beekeeper, but instead the old lady is going out
and getting revenge herself.
Her last name is Squibb?
Yeah, June Squibb. She was also
Squibb.
She was also Inside Out too.
I love that. I want my last name to be Squibb.
So that movie performed okay, and Exorcism kind of performed bad. I would say the Bikeriders performed meh. I mean, about 10 million. I mean,
we're still caught up on Squibb.
Because Squibb is literally an insult that Chris and I used to toss back and forth at each other.
Well, they don't know who Chris is.
Well, they don't need to.
SMH. We gotta censor his name.
No, we don't.
So, I mean, I'll just go over the top 10 real fast. It hasn't changed since last week. But 10 is still The Watchers. It's about the creep up on tarot cards. So that's good. The Strangers Chapter 1 is still at 8. Furiosa is at 7 still. Garfield is number 6.
Boo. About
to pass The Fall Guy. And then If is at number 4 with $108 million. Bad Boys Ride or Die is starting to creep up on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And number 1 is Inside Out 2 by a Country Mile. In terms of wide releases this weekend, we have 3 potential ones. First one is A Quiet Place Day 1. It's been getting great reviews. So it could overperform, but judging this summer, good reviews isn't enough. Furiosa. Then we have Horizon, an American Chapter Part 1, which is part 1 of a 4-movie saga, 2 chapters releasing this summer. I don't expect good things, but we'll see. It could overperform. The Yellowstone audience could go out. I mean, Sound of Freedom did well last year, so they could support a Kevin Costner 3-hour western. And then this one's interesting, Kalki AD, which is a Hindu movie, which apparently is doing record pre-sales for an Indian film. And I don't expect it to make the top 10, obviously, but it could make a big opening weekend, like $15 million or more. Like, you could do RRR business, and RRR is a masterpiece, but I've heard this could be big. But the Bikeriders was on you guys' list. It opened, and I remember saying it did open with around $10 million. It could make our top 10 for right now. It did open higher than the Watcher and Tarot cards. Do you think that, what made you guys have faith in it, and how do you feel about his performance?
Because Austin Butler was in Elvis, and Elvis was also a popular movie.
He was also in Doom Part 2, but you guys hadn't seen that yet. He plays the crazed, violence-craving, sex-craving lunatic.
Oh.
I haven't even seen Dune Part 1.
I just know.
You will have to at some point when we do the Oscar ranking next year, because it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. I guarantee. If it doesn't get nominated, I'll be shocked.
Austin Butler is just very popular right now, very white boy of the month. So him in a bike riding movie is probably going to be a lot of people seeing that.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, again, I thought it was just...
He kind of looks like Pennywise.
Well, maybe he could be Pennywise someday.
Oh, please, God, no.
So... yeah, next week, hopefully, we all have A Quiet Place Day 1 on our list, or...
I think
Nope.
I did.
Okay, he did not have it on this list. I think we did, though.
Yeah.
And, hopefully it is well, because we were all wrong on Furiosa, but I think me and Madison have both had our wins. Justin has not, really, so...
Nope.
Aside from Inside Out 2.
That could be what we do. I mean, if you're interested in it, we could go see that.
What,
next week or whenever.
Quiet Place Day 1?
Yeah,
have you
Quiet
guys
Place.
seen the last two? Both?
I've only seen the first one.
The first one, I
assuming
haven't seen.
I'm assuming you don't have to see all of them to understand this one, but I'm assuming, right? It does have a character from Part 2 in there, but...
Well, then.
it doesn't matter. It's a prequel, anyway.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it kind of matters because you need to know how that character is...
No, you don't.
How that character acts.
If that character is good enough in the second one, then
But
how they act in this one should be just fine.
I'm interested to see, anyway, how that does. So, we watched a television show this week. Who wants to talk about...
Shogun.
Well, I guess it's you. I guess you get to go, Madison.
Oh God, I don't know. I didn't really like it.
So what did we think about Shogun?
I mean, the positives for me was it did look nice, and it probably, it's another one. I know. What was I talking about last week? Where it was something that I get why people like it, but I just don't. Like, it's just not within my taste.
We were talking about the mob subplot in Fargo Season 2, and that was your least favorite part, while it was our favorite part of Season 2.
Yeah.
And I think that's just where your tastes align. You just don't like politics in your shows. And
I'm very interpersonal when it comes to stories. Like I liked Anatomy of a Fall.
Well, that
because
was
it was
crime drama. It's not really like
Yeah.
people politically like trying to stab each other in the back.
Well, no, but it's like more of a personal story.
You like more personal stories.
Yeah.
Or you're just saying?
Like I don't care about the survival of this whole army if I don't care about anybody in the army.
Well,
and I didn't really see anybody that I cared about.
Well, we know
we watched the first 2 episodes.
So we know about. Well, I gotta look up the names. I do not have the names memorized for Shogun, aside from John Blackthorne, because
That's the easiest one to remember.
Because he repeats it like 5 times, and also...
What's the one guy's name is like Ishido?
So that is the rival, like the main honcho of the council.
Yeah, that's like the
top
guy.
It is Toraganga is the main lord of the show that has John. Spoilers for Shogun season 1, episodes 1 and 2, and also the rest of the things we're going to be talking about on the podcast, saying now. So I really liked the dynamics of the differing groups. So we have Toraganga and his clan who are about to be executed, but they need to have a vote for it. We have the Dutch ship that lands in Japan that has John Blackthorne. And
his name needs to be said that way.
It sounds so much like a pilot.
But in Japan, they call him the Anjin.
Which is pilot in Japanese. And then we also have the Portuguese in there, which are heavily Catholic, and we get to see how that religion has spread in Japan, how other people feel about the Portuguese, and I really like when all these parties, you know, in this show, like people are trying to do one thing, other people are trying to do another. You got like a traitor on this side that wants to join the other side, but we also got how they interact with like the prisoner. I kind of love like how like these sort of stories can get a little messy. In particular, I really I'm invested in not necessarily like the conflict with the council, because obviously it's like pretty slow right now. I will say the conversation that they had all together when they're trying to decide, oh, you got the heir to the throne, we want you to hand him over, and one of Toraganga's people steps out of line. It really just sets up the idea of death in this show, because he immediately is like, I'll kill myself right now. I'll do it. And we go through the process of, okay, so he's going to kill himself, so he needs to go through all these hurdles and make sure everyone's okay with it. And then he does it at the end of episode 1. I feel like that just kind of sets up this whole idea, because typically when I've seen, you know, Japanese culture in these movies, it's more of like, oh, I'm going to just stab myself here right now. But it's feeling like, oh, it's like a legal affair that you have to set up all these hoops to kill yourself and your baby. Pretty dark, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been... I didn't find that disgusting. I found other aspects disgusting.
So she said she was pretty disgusted by the way of Japanese torture and death. Boiling alive. The
family thing with the baby...
It's ending your family line.
Yeah, like that. I mean, that interested me.
Well, it also, you know, they show it off screen. Like, they don't show him kill the baby.
Well, yeah. Glad for that,
But I'm invested in this story.
But it is interesting. It would have been interesting to see, like, more of how she felt. Like, I know she had a knife to her throat. The mom.
Well, she was like threatening, like, you know, kill herself because her baby's about to die.
And then they wouldn't let her kill herself
because the Lord demands that she has a purpose later on in her life.
I'd have done it anyway if my baby had to be handed over to be killed.
It's pretty like demented for like something like that, but it's a different culture, I guess. And
yeah,
we kind of
hundreds of years ago.
And you kind of see like how John reacts to like, you know, this different culture and how they clash with each other. And I found that really interesting. I hadn't really connected with too many of the characters yet. No. I like the guy who's under Toragaga who's trying to betray him. And
that's kind of what I liked with Fargo, how like even in an anthology, in the first episode, you have a character usually that you connect to.
His name is Yabushige.
Out of all of them,
Yabushige. Okay, that's the guy who's planning to betray his lord and join the other side because he doesn't want to die. And fair enough. Justin, what are your thoughts on Shogun episodes 1 and 2?
I actually enjoyed both episodes. For the first one, I was starting to fall asleep because we started watching it late in the night, and I was high.
That is a pretty important detail. We get pretty sleepy.
Yeah.
When mixed
but I retained most of episode 1. I do forget the guy killing, like actually seeing the guy kill himself.
We don't, because
we don't.
So at the end of the episode,
Yeah,
we see him getting ready to do it, and they hand him the baby, and he has the knife, and we close the door at the end, and we don't see him again.
that's right when the baby was. Yeah, it was right when the baby was taken, so that's kind of.
Yeah.
It was kind of implied with the baby.
And the door being shut. I mean,
okay.
We don't really need him to see it.
We were kind of more focused on the baby in that scene. If we're being honest.
Let's be fair here. We're not used to having babies being executed.
Yeah.
Ain't no thing.
Unless it's like Pirates of the Caribbean or something.
So.
Yeah, they found. Remember when they found the little boy?
So, do you actually...
I don't remember. Go on.
Do you actually believe that John Blackthorne is a pirate?
I mean, we know that he's pillaged Portuguese settlements.
Yeah.
And but he's in a trade ship.
Yeah.
We already know that his intention is to fuck over the Portuguese and, kind of take their control away from Japan. He's self-serving, but also is like, hey, you guys don't like the Portuguese? I don't like the Portuguese. Let's get rid of them.
I just feel like he's like, I understand where he's coming from. Like when he explains that, they're not pirates, they are trying to make trade, and it's just that his country is at war with Portugal.
Yeah. Because
they have different religious views.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of fucking conflicts start.
Yeah, religion kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And we lost all of our audience.
But I am inclined to believe him that he's not like a full-on pirate, and that he actually does just want to establish.
We're still like against Portugal, and still we're still ravaging settlements. He's a violent man.
He's a pirate.
But I do think I'm very eager to see where his character goes. If they have him fucking dress up in like samurai armor later on, that would be so fucking dope.
He's too self-serving for that. I kind of want him to because he seems like more of a villainous character.
If they at least give him a sword or something, and then make him like part of fuck, what's the other guy's name? The one that's actually got a full head of hair.
A full head of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
the one that set up the bandit attack.
All of them do the patch in the middle.
Yoboshige, or whatever. Yeah.
The one that's trying to portray.
I like his character.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that goes.
Yeah.
He's trying to
he's playing both sides. It seems like. Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I love how these slimy characters.
Because I think Toranaga might be kind of like suspect of him a bit.
Well, the way that he was talking, like, when
he said, you're always in the right place at the right time.
I was like, I was
like, woo.
Meanwhile, Madison's like. I didn't like the scene where he's like drawing out the world, and then he's like trying to communicate through drawing and making his point.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. Drawing in the sand when you have a very limited knowledge of what the world is at that time.
I do remember having a thought of like, oh, that's cool. They're doing this because they don't. Did they have?
He had Lady Miracle was there, and she was translating.
They had pens or not pens, but like paper and ink.
Yes,
back
but
then.
like it's better
I guess
visually.
that's more, and also more expensive. I don't know if that mattered more at that time.
I don't know. when does this take place?
Well, it would have been just easier for him to do it that way because they were already in the sand garden.
But yeah, I did think that was
just
cool that they're
it's also way better.
doing that.
Oh, another character I liked, Rodriguez.
Oh, the Spanish
sailor. Yeah.
Spaniard.
I might learn to like it, but like it's being added to the wheel anyway, right?
So that's if we vote to stop it.
If you want to stop watching and choose something else,
then it gets added to the wheel.
Yes, but
so like,
I kind of.
There's another chance to.
I'm gonna keep watching.
I want to.
I don't care.
Oh, that kind of ruins the discussion.
No.
Yes,
we're
does.
We're not doing it as a unit anymore.
It doesn't matter.
It does
yes,
matter because you're
listen. We can't do this for every show. If I'm gonna watch something, I'm gonna watch it.
Well, we're not. I feel like
you say this every time that it is better to watch the same episodes at the same time.
Okay, but
if you watch ahead in Shogun and then we watch it together,
and then we watch
it's gonna be a different discussion.
How the wheel's been going is we're gonna watch it like a year from now, and you're gonna be like, oh, I saw this like a year ago. I'm pretty familiar.
Okay, but then if we watch it a year from now, and I've already watched it, and we're watching the specific episodes, those will be fresh in my memory.
Okay, bro.
You get what I'm saying?
No.
No!
It doesn't have the same vibe. It's like if I made you guys watch Better Call Saul.
But, I mean, I'm voting to keep the show, to keep watching it, because I am invested. And I feel like if we...
Well, I mean, 2 out of 3. If we're going by vote rules, then we're watching it again.
No, but we need it to be a unanimous thing.
When did that vote get started? Because when I originally created this, majority rules.
Do you know how difficult it's going to be? Do you know how difficult it's going to be to sit there and try to watch it and have her not be interested?
Well, it could grow on her. If we make it,
it has the potential.
If we make it halfway,
it's got the seeds there. I just haven't been fully convinced yet in 2 episodes.
Do you want to keep watching?
Isn't a good sign, but
dude,
if it's majority rules, it doesn't matter.
I want it to be majority rules, even if I'm the one in the minority, because it creates some drama.
You're not the one in the minority because both of you want to watch it.
Listen, I know, but like what if there's a show that I don't like, but you guys like, and we keep watching it, and maybe I'm like, you know what, I'm starting to grow on it. I want to have that opportunity, or I could have a show where I don't like it, and then we finish the season, I'm like, man, that was shit. that could be entertaining. But I think my vote is to keep Shogun.
You know what? Let's keep it.
All right. Well, then
for at least the season. If I don't like it by the end of the season,
there's only one season.
They're making a season 2, but it's not out yet.
Which is an interesting choice because I've heard that it's meant to be a 1-season show.
Yes, but it was critically acclaimed. If it's the same people coming back, then it should be good.
I guess. But I'm saying if I don't like it by the end of the season, I'm never gonna like it. So.
And then when season 2 comes around, you're gonna be like, "Damn, I haven't watched it."
But I'm maintaining my status on that. Like, if there's something that someone ends up not liking, or we stop watching a show, but I'm still interested in the show, I don't care if it's getting added back to the wheel. I'm not gonna. If I'm heavily invested, I'm not gonna stop watching that show just because we said, no, we'll just add it to the wheel again. No.
There's plenty of stuff to watch.
No. Okay.
There's plenty of stuff to watch
that's not fair.
I know it's not fair. That's why it's fun.
No, that's not fun. That's called a dictatorship.
It's called the wheel. And the wheel has decided. And our council has decided.
Will fucking hates me.
The council decided that Toraganga is going to die. And the council has decided that we're watching Shogun.
Maybe you'd be better off with the square.
The square?
Yeah. The wheel doesn't agree with you, so you need the square.
Christ. How's it gonna spin if it's a square?
You gotta figure that out, Chief.
So, we watched the movie this week. I'm gonna let Justin What movie did we watch?
We might have watched a little something called Alita Battle Angel.
That was gay.
That was extremely homosexual. We watched Alita Battle Angel, which was my suggestion.
Yeah, and oh my god.
Well, so
what have you done?
What do you mean? What have I done?
What have you done?
Listen,
you're supposed to be the movie critic here, and you had us watch that.
It was a fun movie,
man. We were less than 20 minutes in, and I could see that there was some things going on with the writing and the pacing. Come on.
I know. I'm not. Listen, this movie is either something that people love or people hate. And I'm going to be honest, I love the cheese. I love the corniness. I love this movie.
There's
I would rate it
so many predictable things that happen in the movie. And
it was
he predicted a lot of shit. I didn't see anything coming. I'm pretty dumb when it comes to that.
You're simple.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for agreeing with me.
Well, what?
we're watching this, okay? And spoiler alert for Alita Battle Angel.
I already said spoilers and shows.
I know, but the scene where they're showing one of the cyborgs getting kidnapped and his arms getting taken off to be sold to Vector, and I'm like, oh, it's a group of like 4 or 5 guys. I guarantee you that's going to be Hugo and his crew.
Yep.
And then he fucking takes the mask off and it's Hugo. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Hugo. And she's like, I didn't even see that coming. And I'm like, how?
That's me.
How?
That's my brother. Because when we went to go see this in IMAX, he was crying at the end of the movie.
What?
I shit you not. Specifically in the scene where Hugo dies at the end, he cried. I don't get it, but I thought the movie was fun. Okay, so I mean, let's discuss. So positives. I think that the effects are incredible in this film. When I first saw the trailer, like everyone who saw the trailer, I was like, damn. What are you thinking with these big eyes and the CGI?
I remember you talking about the eyes. And then I asked you about this, or something came up about this movie. And you were like, oh, I liked it. And I was like, you were just shitting all over it with the trailer.
Because, like, you look at the design of Alita and you're like, this is a weird choice. I don't like it when watching the trailer, but then when you watch the movie, you get pretty used to it real fast because I think the design just kind of works overall.
I did get used to it because it just felt like manga, like the whole thing, or manga.
I'm not sure if I would.
Well, her eyes are that way because she's a Martian, but
I also because none of the other robots.
Is she a Martian? I thought she was from the moon.
She is definitely.
Or from that.
She's part of what were they calling the URM?
Yeah.
United Republic of Mars.
Oh.
So
I forgot.
I've not read on. Even though I really like this movie, I wanted to wait for a movie sequel, so I didn't read on. I could imagine them from Mars, but I also was This movie is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This was a sneak. What do you call it? Chaos pick.
Well,
sneak chaos pick.
Well, I think this movie was a.
You gassed up this movie.
Because I didn't gas it up. I said I love it.
That is. You love this movie?
Yes, it's so entertaining. Okay, let's
thought it was
the action scenes. Those action scenes are really cool and really fun.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the first action scene in the movie is in this alleyway. Like the martial arts and like you see this like weird ass like cybernetic lady that like moves around like a spider with hooks like spikes on its hands, and she like kicks her head so hard that the head pops off. Like that's awesome as hell. I don't think all the CGI works though, because one of the main villains of this movie, Gregushka, I only remember his name because he keeps repeating it, and Gregushka, because I forget. I don't like his design.
Little flea.
He's it's ridiculous.
That's the big muscular guy?
Yeah, I don't like his design.
Muscular.
I loved his design. What
Muscular.
are you talking about?
I like his design later on when he gets the arms.
Muscular in robot terms, okay?
Muscular? He's no, he would not be muscular. He's a cyborg. He's not muscular. He's bulky. He's bulky.
He's designed to have a muscular figure.
Literally potato.
He's built like a refrigerator.
She dismantles that refrigerator pretty fast in the LA way.
If we were to relate this to humans, he would be muscular. Because guess what? You're not picking shit up like that unless you have muscles.
So I think
robot muscles.
We actually talk about the backstory of everything. I don't know how you would have adapted this for a movie, but the idea of, okay, she has amnesia and she gains her memories back through fighting, didn't work for me.
Yeah,
in terms of the narrative.
I still don't know what exactly she was supposed to be. She was some...
So she's a last remaining robot that's sent to destroy the upper class above. Because she's a part of an army that's fighting on the moon, and then they're climbing up the metal cylinder that has the spikes come down.
Oh, because they did talk about
destroy
what
the Zalem, which is the upper class world. By the way, I'm gonna just say it, if you've seen Elysium, that movie steals a whole lot from Alita Battle Angel, because this was made in the 80s, 80s, early 90s. And that movie came out in 2012, so a lot has been influenced by Alita, by the world, the character designs. It's kind of the same thing as John Carter, if you know about that, how that influenced so many sci-fi properties like Star Wars, and then when that finally gets its movie, it's oh, it's not as fresh as it would have been.
I'm guessing, based on the ending of Alita Battle Angel, that they were gonna try to do a sequel.
So they're apparently still making multiple sequels, according to James Cameron, this year.
Oh.
He's him and Robert Rodriguez made a blood oath.
Because hasn't it been 5 years?
It has been 5 years, but they Avatar money.
Ah.
Because the backstory for this movie is that James Cameron, after Titanic, because Guillermo del Toro recommended to James Cameron that he should read Alita Battle Angel. He loved it so much, he bought the rights for it, and he wanted to either make this or an Avatar. He chose Avatar, and now he's stuck in Avatar land. And Robert Rodriguez said, please, let me make this movie. And he's like, okay, I got this 6-hour script. You get to turn it to 2.5 hours. And Robert Rodriguez is like, sure, I make everything myself anyway. So he rewrote the script 2.5 hours, which does explain some things in terms of the pace and everything. And we kind of have what we have today, and they're planning on making sequels.
Yeah, because within 10 minutes of her waking up, she meets her love interest. And I'm like, all right, can we tone down the horny a bit here? You just woke up from bed a few minutes ago. You were just brought back to life.
I mean,
calm down.
Come on. I mean, I do think you got to accept some lenience there. Also, so in the original, so they made an OVA of this this part of the story. I remember watching it right after the movie. I was like, man, that's interesting. One of the things I think the OVA did a lot better, I probably should have said you should watch this, but they made them their kids, him, her, and Hugo. So what they have is more of they're kids. They don't really understand romance. She's infatuated with him, but they kiss, and she's like a battery and zips him, and he's like, wow, well that's fun, and they're laughing it off, and not actually real romance. They care for each other, and then he dies at the end. Boo.
Well, that would have been cute. Oh, not if they...
But the age is obviously
it would have been cute up until that point.
And also, this is a darker story. I'm actually impressed by how much they're able to get away with the PG-13 rating.
I remember the one I almost said F-slur.
F-bomb.
F-bomb.
Can we? Like I said, the action scenes in this are so freaking cool. I will say that the big guy's design I didn't like so much, but when he got those new arms and he's like
what didn't you like about? He's just
it's too CGI
buff guy.
heavy, and like it's like a
CGI. The whole movie is CGI.
But it's not good CGI. It looks uncanny. I think a lot of also
Alita isn't this whole movie is uncanny.
No, I think Alita actually fits in pretty well because it's like different enough. That's not like that face is just a realistic CGI face. I don't know. Something's uncanny about it to me.
It's uncanny. It can work and be uncanny at the same time.
Alita, I think, is a good balance.
I feel it is good CGI.
Oh, it's good.
From what I've seen.
This is great CGI in terms of the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
The Avatar crew, obviously.
But it is also still very uncanny to see human body parts blended with robot parts. It tickles a certain part of the brain.
So if I'm actually like reviewing this movie critically, I think Hugo's character is annoying, and the whole romance subplot you could have just kind of gone without. Because in the grand scheme of things, if you cut out that romantic subplot and just focus on, these people hunting down Alita because they want her discovering her identity, going forth and charging her own path, despite what Christoph Waltz wants out for her and his character development, I think the movie would have worked better. But obviously the manga has, this character in there. How
old were they in the manga?
I don't know. I remember they seemed a lot younger in the OVA. I hadn't read the manga. I probably should read the manga at this point because it's taken forever to make this goddamn sequel.
You're better off just reading it, honestly.
I do remember people criticizing the size of her eyes back when this movie was being promoted.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I looked it up earlier today, and I saw a thing that said that when they were getting those criticisms about her eyes, they actually went back and increased the size of her irises because they leaned into the criticism and they were like, all right, you guys want to complain?
That's kind of a boss move. I would probably imagine that's James Cameron because he's so stubborn.
I love that, actually.
But again, her design after watching the movie for even 15 minutes, it didn't really affect me. This movie is so entertaining for me because of the world, these designs, how it interacts. We go see this market and we have people with all these sort of cybernetic attachments to them. They're using their cybernetic arms to play the guitar and doing all this cool stuff where there's sub-levels to this world, like bounty hunters. Though they could have did a little bit more with stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, there's so much in this movie. They have to cram in so much into a 2.5 hour runtime.
It was a 6-hour script to begin with, and they cut it down to 2, and they still could have cut more.
The romance kind of sours a little bit.
I feel like cheesy movies, as cheesy as this one is.
Can you love me even though I'm not completely human?
Only works in an hour and a half time frame, somewhere around there.
No, I feel like the runtime isn't the problem. Let's just say you cut out the romance.
Not the runtime, but
you cut out the romance and you just having her on the streets, encountering these weird cybernetic criminals, or her more on Motorball, which that's another sick piece.
Which I did find it weird that they didn't really do much with.
Well,
it was
Motorball is more of a setup for the sequel, if anything.
Yeah, she
that's how she
goes from practice. How long does this movie take place over? A week?
I don't know, actually.
It's a very short time frame, and she's going from just learning to professional.
She is a cybernetic warrior from Mars.
300 years ago.
Yeah, but why are you there's a ton of cyborg people and very advanced people in this world, and they're just letting you be a professional whatever.
Well, they can-
What's it called? Motor
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 Ball.
Bowl.
Yeah.
They're just letting you be a professional motor ball.
Well, they just allow
Player.
anyone. They kind of let anyone be in those games because you have to be like these obviously sketchy people get in there with like buzz saws and chain. Like,
Because it seems so like prestigious there, like the
if
motor
you
ball
win
players.
this, if you win this, you go
Yeah.
up to the top, even though.
But then just everybody can play. Like that doesn't.
Well, not everyone can win.
But
Well,
everyone can play.
what's on
I
our
don't know.
record though?
Then I guess it's not professional motor ball.
It has
but,
to. No, it's pretty professional. Like you get it to like on this big stadium, and if you
Well,
win,
then that's what I'm
you
saying.
get
Like,
up
how
to-
does
up
she
top.
go to a professional league in? It's like a week.
I
that this movie takes
have
place
no
over.
idea what the. It has to be more than a week because like she's bonding with this boy, and like she's getting her license to be a.
What is the timeline? Because it was so short.
It felt
Her
it
step
felt so
into.
fast. So what elements of this movie stood out to you, Justin?
Blade.
So he is going to be Blade eventually. You liked his character?
No, I actually found him to be pretty ridiculous. I actually made a joke because I think Nova keeps taking him over in order to speak.
Yeah, him and Jackie Earl Haley.
So I made a joke when I was watching it because he takes his glasses off anytime Nova takes over. So I'm like, after Nova gets done, he feels faint. Vector feels faint, and he's like, I'm like, oh man, it's been too long since he's worn his glasses. He's gonna pass out if he doesn't put his glasses back on. And then the next scene is wearing his fucking glasses again.
He looks cool.
And I'm like,
you gotta admit, he kind of looks sick with those shades on.
He's still playing Blade. Blade always wore sunglasses.
Well, when the announcement came that he was going to play Blade, the image that they used with the image of him in this movie, you can see the casting there. He looks really cool in a suit and shades.
Oh my god.
So what didn't you're acting like you really didn't like this movie.
It was just so stupid.
And that's why I like the action scene. Like she goes to the bar because she wants to recruit people for justice.
Oh my god.
And she meets what is his name? Ed Skrein from Deadpool, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm pretty handsome and pretty." Again, I love that's kind of.
And
fun.
then she fucking pones him with his own sword.
Yeah, it's fun. Like that's cool.
That's what I was gonna say. I like the face slice at the end.
Oh yeah. Oh
Again, another testament to the CGI.
yeah.
My face.
It's fun. Yeah, that's satisfying and entertaining. I'm surprised how much they actually managed to film this movie and have it be somewhat satisfying without. The ending is very unsatisfying because it's obviously a big cliffhanger to something that we don't know we're even gonna get.
Yep.
And we learned like nothing. I mean,
We kind of know about Alita.
we learned nothing about like the dad and his relationship
We know about
to
the dad.
his relationship to that woman
Yeah, we know.
and their child together.
So,
like,
I mean, I can explain.
They were married.
It didn't really, I guess, get you that much. It's a criticism in the lobby towards the movie, but
They were married.
they were in the city of above, and they left with their child because
she was disabled.
and he was making a robot body for her. But he was being helpful and was helping everyone on the streets. And one guy was kind of like a coke
I
addict
do remember that.
and
With
kills their child. So his wife leaves him, and she's trying to get back up to the city now. No daughter, so go back up to the city and becomes a bad guy until she realizes, wow, Alita is swell after all. I'm going to help her get out of this pickle here through the bounty hunter laws, how she has to kill the bounty in order to get out there. So she cuts off his head
Yeah, this is
And-
pretty gruesome.
Again, PG-13, by the way. And then she cuts off a guy's face. And then after that,
At least that was robotic. This is blood.
Yeah.
Like it was a human. Grotesque.
and then Vector then dismembers her and like to give for body parts.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. What the hell was his character's name? The bounty hunter.
Zapan, I think.
I wasn't expecting him to have robotics behind his face because I thought the whole point of the cyborg thing is that human head, human brain, heart into
You can still have his brain.
cyber body.
He could still have his brain. We don't really know his biology.
So I was just expecting to see like
Yeah.
human flesh underneath the part of his face that was cut off. Not
No,
Well,
you can
it's-
see it.
it's also-
no, you can
it-
see it in his design
He's
because he's got like he's got like a mohawk, right? And then
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
kind of see it.
and like it's literally just his face, but then everything else is like metal.
no, so that
He
just
even has a metal
It's why
goatee.
he's so.
that just makes him look more like an android than a cyborg.
It's
Like,
why he's so proud of his face because it's
Because
like the
that's the
most
only thing
human
he
part
has.
about him.
Yeah. And he has his
not
little
if it's
metal
got no
goatee.
bone or
Which makes
flesh
it-
underneath of it.
No,
It's
but
literally
so
just skin over.
Yeah, but it looks
Cybernetic
like a
enhancements.
face as
Yeah.
much as it can look like a face. And if that's all you have, then you're gonna be proud of it. Which makes it that much more depressing when he gets it sliced
he
off.
just-
But
he just-
also, he deserved it.
He's
so.
he's just a pretty version of the fucking androids from Alien.
I mean, again, you're acting like I think this movie is just fun. It's corny. It's cheesy.
I
it's
think it
over
was
the
good.
top.
Good for what it is.
Yeah, like I don't think it was trying to go for like a serious story or anything. It's just okay. We got this android. She's trying to discover who she is, getting this new cool bodysuit, like an armor, and she fights all these robots and go into a cheesy '80s bar fight. Where
It felt very childlike.
Like her throwing the bottles, like 2 bottles at once, hitting 2 people in the face. All these robots, and then Motorball was fun, and then the chase scene to get out of there. Like all the spectacle. Wow, what a double! She knocked him right out of the ring.
Oh my god, that fucking when they go through the TV
Because they
and are
run
out
out.
in the actual city now, and he just goes, "Wow, I've never seen anything like that, dude. That's your TV. That's like millions of dollars for that TV."
But that's exciting though.
Also, he's supposed to be commenting on the game taking place, but he never mentions, that halfway through it they drop the ball and nobody's focusing on getting the ball. Why the fuck aren't they going after the ball?
Well,
The point of the sport.
Well, we gotta comment on what's happening, which is them trying to murder her. Again, the action scenes in this movie are I feel like are holding it together. Also, the effects are really cool. What is the best action scene in the movie to you guys? I'll go first. I think the
guy with the dogs joining in to.
well, that's
I did
that's
like
at the
that.
end of that. I love that whole like setup underground, her running against all those bladed fingers and then like going in between them.
No, I just specifically like the
You
dog
like
guy.
robot dog. You didn't really like the action scenes in this movie, or you just like robot dogs.
They were okay. It's just kind of predictable what's gonna happen.
It doesn't matter. Oh, what do you mean? It's I wouldn't have. When I went to go see the movie, right? I wasn't expecting her to get cut in half and her lifted up by the hair while she has one arm.
Listen. So
Yeah, I did like that part.
Well,
I
hold
did
on.
like that
Hold
part.
on. Hold on. You're telling me that they introduced this new Martian body that she has found that's been preserved for so long.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I did expect her to go in that suit.
I need you to put me into this body.
I expected that.
You didn't expect her to fucking get the whole
You don't
body
expect
destroyed?
how it's gonna happen.
You don't expect her to get cut in half in a PG-13 movie with one arm with blood leaking out And also the fact that she's able to, with one arm, by the way, punch this guy in the face after, that's so satisfying when you're watching it because he's such a dick. And he punches him in the eye. Punches his eye in. That's so cool. Am I crazy? That's really sick.
No, I like that part. I like it was gruesome seeing her lifted up by her hair.
Yeah.
Like, I felt that.
I just...
he didn't connect well with this movie, and that's fine.
No, I didn't.
So me with Shogun, and then you with Alita.
Yeah, there's just a little too much cheese in this movie for me, and I'm lactose intolerant, so...
It did feel...
But it feels self-aware.
Childlike at some moments.
It feels self-aware, though. That's my thing.
The thing
except for the romance. That's
we did
awful.
So with the dog guy, we did laugh because after he tells the dogs to go after him, he's like, he didn't love dogs. I hate that.
It's self-aware. It's having fun within itself. And not a way where, like, wink, wink at the camera. It's just a nice, fun, cheesy, slocky action movie that's a little bit more edgy than the average one. There's all this, like, kind of brutal stuff that happens in it. It kind of does feel like a Robert Rodriguez movie.
Yeah, like when, spoiler, the dog dies.
Oh, yeah.
I would just like to point out, I was just looking at this. I've been staring at this poster of Alita Battle Angel.
Because it came free with the ticket.
Since we started coming here, and never questioned the red on her face, and now I find out that's the dead dog's blood.
But,
great!
And then she never has red on her face again in the whole movie.
Well, it obviously
comes
like,
off. She's not going to keep dipping it in the...
She's gonna keep the body of the dog there.
She's like, don't clean this blood up. I'm gonna keep coming back to this bar when I need this pool of blood.
She scoops it up into a bag.
I destroyed your entire bar, but you gotta keep this dog corpse here.
Christ.
But, like, it's cheesy, obviously. Like, her, like, making marks on her face, like,
yeah,
the dog.
I groaned at that.
But
at that scene.
But it's cool. She goes down there and has this fight.
It did seem kind of cool.
And then the motorball fights.
We also don't know what's going through the head of a 300-year-old Martian robot girl.
I think we know
who just woke up.
Her head at that time.
So maybe in the moment it felt like a good idea to rub dog blood on her face.
It's more. I think it's just like, okay, you soiled the blood of the innocent. I am here to fuck your shit up, and then she gets fucked up. I will say the ending of the movie isn't satisfying because it's so rushed.
No.
Like her going up there, killing Mahershala Ali and the guy, the Gragushka.
Well,
I get it, but also, like, you know, because she has this new body, she's now more aware of herself. She's now a motorball specialist.
The guy running up to... What's the town name?
So...
Jablinski Games.
Jablinski?
Let me see. Iron City.
Iron City.
Iron City? I thought it began with a J or something.
I mean, Zalem is above.
Yeah, Zalem. When he was running up to Zalem.
Oh, Hugo going up to Zalem.
Yeah, what?
So his whole goal was to get up to Zalem, which was an impossible task, but now he has this robot body.
Because
and he's
the
desperate.
only way you go up to Zalem is if they want your parts.
Or you win Motorball. But probably you get your parts removed too, knowing that.
This just seems like hell. No matter where you go.
Yeah.
Zalem or...
I do want to say...
I would not want to live in this world.
I do want to say, what the fuck was up with the whole murderer on the loose thing? Because that was
the
only...
Murderer
Yeah!
The murderer was Gragushka. Because remember, a lot of people were going missing, and it was the people in the alleyway. That's why Christoph Waltz was trying to hunt, and Alita shows up. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then he gets captured by Gragushka. which causes that fight. And the reason why people are going missing is because they're sending parts up for Edward Norton.
Oh, okay.
I get it. It's a fast runtime.
makes
Like,
more-
so much is
yeah.
going on, and you kind of forget about some stuff, and like. you
With
know,
world building, because it's so much to catch up on, because you're like, what the fuck is this? At all times during the
So,
movie.
honestly, if they wanted to,
I mean,
I feel like
this would have worked
this-
better as an anime, but
or as a live action series.
that would have been too expensive.
Yeah.
Like, the effects, how good they are in this movie. Can you imagine them like on a TV level?
All right, but you know how rich James Cameron is.
Yeah, I mean, he's using that money to go down to the
If
sun.
this
to
is his
Titanic.
dream, if this is his
He's
dream,
stuck in
he can make it
Avatar
work.
land. He wanted this to be a movie. He would have made this a movie regardless. If he was directing it, it would have been a movie. And this was supposed to be released Christmas, but because that's the Avatar slot. But then there was massive competition, so it got moved to Valentine's Day, and didn't perform as well as it could have, and that's why it's taken so long to take a
Maybe
make a
because the
sequel.
fucking romance in this movie dies. Literally.
I mean, I still find it cool, the spikes and like all that.
That is an interesting defense system for.
Yeah, I mean, if there's just some random guy just trying to climb up, it's like, okay, just send the spikes. It's kind of easy. Again, I think like this captures that like fun schlocky action movie in a way that like it's aware of itself, but it's not a Deadpool or one of these movies like, isn't it funny that we did this? And it's like, it's a fun, enjoyable action movie with good action, solid effects, and a likable lead.
So, one thing we don't know is how did Alita's remaining parts come to be in that
Oh, we don't know.
graveyard,
We don't know yet. Or,
junkyard, whatever it was?
because they're dropped down from Zalem, but we don't know who in Zalem dropped them down. We don't know yet.
Until the sequel.
If that ever comes out, apparently James Cameron is trying to make it happen with his money.
With his money.
Just
He's trying to bribe Disney. Hey, I made you like $2.4 billion with my last Avatar movie. Can you just make another Alita with Robert, please?
just sounding like George R.R. Martin at this point, man.
I mean,
George
It's coming.
R. R.
It's-
Martin.
It's on the way.
But I mean, Avatar came out eventually, and they're coming out quicker. So, would you watch a sequel of this movie? That's the question. Though. It's
I
guess it depends on the trailer for you guys.
Yes, heavily, probably. I feel like I would give it a shot. Maybe.
I don't know, man.
I
don't know.
I don't know. I'm just.
So the cheese was too much for you.
You laughed quite a few times during this movie.
Was it for purposeful laughs, or was it just because how ridiculous it was?
It was definitely
Some
ridiculous.
of it was purposeful. Some of the jokes were on purpose that you laughed at.
What was your
And then some of it
Like
was
what?
like with the guy with his face.
my
Like
face?
it's a-
She
yeah.
smashed on my face.
You laughed at that, and that was supposed to be funny.
What was your favorite character in the movie?
The dog.
The one that died, or the robot dogs that came in for revenge?
Honestly, both. Dogs in this movie were real.
Well,
That was a three-legged dog too.
Was it a three-legged?
I believe it was
The
a
alive
three-legged-
dog?
Yeah.
The one, not for.
Yeah, I believe it was three-legged, and then it came up
what?
and.
I did not know
I
It's
that.
saw 4 legs.
Oh well, it was still a puppy, and he yelled up at this guy, and then paid the price for it. What was your favorite character, Justin?
The guy who got split in half.
Gargouche.
No.
Gargouche.
Tangent? tangent? The Hugo's buddy?
Oh,
He literally gets sliced in half by fucking...
Like, I find it impressive that they got away with so much gore in this PG-13 movie.
I wasn't expecting that. Like,
it's your girlfriend.
I figured he was probably gonna die because, you know, he's fighting a literal cyborg bounty hunter.
And they're pretty much all human, so...
Yeah. So I was like, oh, he's gonna die. And then he gets fucking literally cut in half at the waist.
Do you think this
with
movie
a big sword. And I'm like, oh, that's how he dies.
Do you think this movie would have been improved by an R rating, or do you think just they get away with so much with the PG-13, it's not even worth it?
I think they needed to
They
slow
cut
it down.
people in half.
They needed to slow it down, honestly.
Too much gore?
No, too much happening in a short time frame.
I mean,
you take your fucking time. If it ends
I
up being
feel
a
like-
2.5 hour movie, then it ends up being a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, this is actually just a 2-hour movie. I don't know. That could have made it 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I feel that would have fleshed it out a little bit more, like the pace, because I think like the pace is just so like
Yeah.
on.
It's fucking one hit after another, and I'm like, I'm fucking turning my neck so hard I'm getting goddamn whiplash. Because I don't know what the fuck just happened in the last scene, and you're on to the next one.
So do you like the world at least?
Well,
I like
once
the world.
again, that's another thing that could have been fleshed out more if they gave it more time.
Could use more critters.
Stop it.
The people are critters. All those designs. Ed Screen's character, the bounty hunter, gets his face sliced. Like, his design is really cool.
He's almost entirely fucking. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the whole. We've been over this. That's the whole point of his character.
But like, I think that. I mean, this movie is a guilty pleasure, but I enjoyed it a lot, and as a result, I'm gonna give this movie 2 ratings.
2 ratings.
How does their crime system work?
So,
Because
if a crime gets reported, then they.
so you're just taking someone's. You can literally just accuse someone of a crime, and then they'll just fucking spread that. They'll take that as truth.
That's how it happened in the movie, because the Zapan literally frames Hugo for a crime, and they're like, "Well, take his word for it." Yeah, that's how it worked.
That's a horrible fucking way to live.
Obviously it is. It's obviously a flawed system. The movie points out.
How do they not have cameras?
I mean, it's going to be rigged in his favor anyway because of Alita. The whole city is against her. They just need an excuse.
Stupid.
So I'm going to give this movie 2 ratings. 1 for how much I enjoyed it, and how much I think the actual movie's quality is. I am giving this, in terms of enjoyment, a 9. I was having so much fun with this movie. When it came out, and now, watching it again, I'm like, these action scenes are so cool. You laugh at me, but we all have our guilty pleasures.
Your
okay?
action scenes. You're like a little kid with action figures.
Yes! But as a movie, I'm going to give it... I'm debating between a 6 and a 7. I think there's a lot of potential here, and if the movie, cut out that awful romance and slowed down, for positive will, I'm going to give it a 7.
I give it a 6.
I was expecting lower from the way you were talking about it.
Look, I'm not saying it's a god-awful movie, but it is so mediocre at best.
So,
it's
above
like
average.
Just about average. It's not middle of the road. It's just slightly more entertaining because, at least you're fucking watching robot people fuck each other up for a bit. And another scene I predicted when the fucking one dude from Motorball is hot on her tail when they're going through the city and they land in front of that fucking trash grinder.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You knew it was gonna happen.
As soon as I saw it in the background, I'm like, oh geez, I wonder if she's gonna end up tossing someone into that grinder.
Okay, no, but I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see someone going into that grinder. PG-13 even. You just see this guy get murdered as he goes in there. What was that? What was his gimmick? He had these
wasn't
things
he the
that
one
he
with the saws?
Was
or
it?
Did she just disable that guy first?
Yeah, the saws that detach and he can throw them and bring them back, right? Because I find that stuff cheesy and fun, but you find it I think there's a difference between something like this and a Transformers where it's
oh god
where it's
I made a Transformers comment during this movie
where it's insulting.
What'd you say?
And
when we were watching the movie.
What'd you say?
I think it's when they were all fucking playing motorball. And I was like,
you said it looks like Transformers.
Yeah, basically, I was like, yeah, robots in disguise.
But again, those movies are insulting in the intelligence and also really annoying. This movie isn't annoying; it's super cheesy.
You're telling me that Optimus Prime? You think Optimus Prime is annoying?
Not specific. Sometimes he is. Sometimes that guy is super irritating. That guy is a hypocrite. We will not harm anyone on this planet.
Autobots,
roll out. I will fucking kill you.
Well, isn't that... I haven't seen... I think I've seen maybe the first two Transformers movies. Isn't there one where he becomes possessed or something? And he's
that was
evil?
The last Michael Bay one. But
okay.
No, he wasn't possessed when he was threatening to kill people and actually headshot someone with a shotgun.
I have not seen any Transformers
Well, that could
movies,
be a fun chaos pick if we ever decide.
All of this is very enlightening.
So, yeah, those are my ratings. What are you guys' ratings?
6.
Oh yeah.
I can go with 7.
You're debating in your head. You can balance.
I don't hate it as much as Justin does, but it also feels like a 6 to me.
If it feels like a 6, you can
I
give
feel
it a
like
6.
Justin's going too high with his rating because it sounds like he fucking hates it.
I feel like
giving it a 6.
he respects it, but he also hated the cheese. Yeah. It's just not his thing.
Okay, well in that case, it's probably a 7 for me because I didn't hate it. Yeah. I can go with 7. I'm fine with 7.
Well, make a sequel, Disney. So time for the movie wheel. My suggestion was Alita. Justin is, he wants to say something. He's itching to say something.
I was just gonna say I'm not gonna clown you too hard for liking this movie because if and when the Dark Knight gets picked for the wheel, I'm gonna have the same sort of reaction for the movie that I still have.
Well, that's just it's a great movie. Everyone knows it's a great movie. This movie, not everyone has seen Alita Battle Angel. First off, second, it's a fun cheesy schlocky movie. The Dark Knight's just a well-made, great movie. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, oh, he liked The Dark Knight. That's different.
Well, I mean, The Dark Knight still just gets... Some people dunk on it because it's so memeable.
Who's dunking on The Dark Knight for real? Are you serious?
I don't think
people make fun of it sometimes because of how funny some of the dialogue is.
But that's not the movie's fault. Okay, whatever.
Well, it kind of is. The dialogue.
It's iconic dialogue for a reason. Anyway. That's your
think
suggestion.
that makes a movie better.
Well,
for it to be heavily memeable.
Little flea.
Actually, no, because then I'd be for
Darling, I'm
Morbius.
So sorry.
Yeah. Have sex.
That was
the
only movie. That was the only meme that we made out of that movie, right?
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Or out of all the movies.
I want to name
in the Oscar Oh, yeah.
And those are the bottom two movies.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. My logic went out the window.
So, time for the movie suggestion wheel. This was my suggestion, and I think that Justin didn't like it that much, but I think me and Madison had a fun time. So, my suggestion for this week...
I hate this fucking wheel.
We're going back to something we wanted to watch months ago, but someone pissed all over our parade. I'm suggesting Monkey Man.
Yes! Pissed all over.
And that is my suggestion.
Okay.
Justin has already said that he's suggesting The Dark Knight.
You.
Madison, your suggestion last week was The Lighthouse. Would you like to change it or keep it?
That's fine. We can keep the lighthouse.
We got Kiki's Delivery Service, the Ghibli option. And Madison suggested a new thing for the Chaos Pick after Aunt Bully. And I kind of forgot the Chaos Pick last week anyway. Step Brothers is on the wheel.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because I
This is
really
your
want to
Alita
have
battle.
a discussion about this movie.
This is your Alita Battle Angel. I do not care for Step Brothers. But
Max is
Yes.
with the consensus of audiences when the movie came out.
it's so annoying. Anyway.
Annoying.
Yes, it's so loud and obnoxious.
We will
we'll
have
get to it.
a conversation.
That's-
If God
I've also-
loves me
I've
at
also seen it
to
like 50
any point.
times in my life because my parents love that movie. So, elimination style, baby! So, I pressed the space button, but it caused it to go down. So, the first movie eliminated is Monkey Man.
Oh, fuck.
God damn.
It's probably not going to be on the wheel next week. I'll probably want to choose something else. I'm spicy with that. Okay. It's glitching. That means it's gonna be you.
No respins.
Well, no Step
It was
Brothers.
half me.
Damn it.
God damn it.
Damn. We're keeping that as a chaos pick.
I was gonna say it's your turn next week for the Chaos Pick.
Next week's Step
That
Brothers chaos
episode,
pick.
we better have a good ass TV show when that gets picked, because that is going to be an amazing episode.
It's not for me. Okay.
Just wait.
It's the whole
Me and Justin
episode's-
are coming in for
So
the kill.
no Lighthouse.
Fuck.
God, fuck,
It
that's
got rid of
awful.
both of your choices in 2 fucking turns.
Okay, this has happened 3 weeks in a row. By the way, we're down to the Dark Knight and the other option.
You just got monopolied. Fucking go to jail.
We are watching the Dark Knight next week.
All right.
Wow. The wheel picking Justin's option? Never heard of it. That's so crazy. Who are you paying? What's this company?
Plot twist, I own the website.
Wheeldecide.com. More like Justin decides.
He wasn't happy with the movie this week, so
It's my website. I actually own it and run it, and
It's just a video that plays,
it would've been more
and you
fun.
change it every week.
But would it have been funny if like the wheel chose Dark Knight and we were watching Kiki's Delivery Service? So that would have been 3 weeks in a row where Dark Knight was the second to last one being picked. You'd have been picking the Dark Knight forever. I still find it kind of weird that we're watching the Dark Knight and not Batman Begins.
It's starting to feel like Survivor.
listen. We don't need to watch Batman Begins. We know where he begins.
No.
When his parents get shot.
But there's plenty of things in the Batman in the first one that lead into the second one.
You don't need to watch the first one to...
I mean, you kind of don't, but like, you know, like the love interest character begins in that first movie.
She's played by a different actress.
That's funny, but still.
It's 2 separate actresses.
Scarecrow was in The Dark Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, but he gets immediately beat up and fucking sent to jail at the
No.
beginning.
Please, let's not talk about it too much. Otherwise, we'll not save.
Whatever.
We need to save it for next week. Otherwise, it would be pointless to do the episode twice.
Why do you want to kill me?
Okay. So yeah, congratulations, Justin. You win again.
Well, I've never seen The Dark Knight, so maybe this will be...
Really? I'm still surprised every time
I've
you
seen
say that.
scenes.
I just want to thank all my fans.
I know about the nursery, the Walter White moment.
You mean the hospital?
It's a hospital.
Yeah, the Walter White moment.
I just want to thank all my fans. I couldn't have done this victory without you guys. It's an honor.
Yeah, your 40th win.
It's an honor to have this win.
You're winning the podcast.
I'm going to be watching The Dark Knight with a big smile on my face.
So the question is, again, I'm still going to leave this option for Madison. Do you want her to get her suggestion next week? Because she hasn't had one in over 11 episodes.
We still do the wheel.
It's almost been a year.
We still do the wheel.
Or no.
I am picking Step Brothers as my chaos pick next week.
Yeah, but I wonder what's gonna be your main pick. You can't do two. I'm making that rule because that's a little bit too crazy. I kind of raised the lights with Fargo season 2 because you were threatening to watch it without us. I was gonna let you just have it twice, but now I'm thinking about it. More options is more fun. So you can't have two of the same pick. That's my rule now. And if you have a problem with it,
so we can add as much shit as we want.
This is a dictatorship.
No. Why? You cannot have
I say we make a jumbo wheel.
I mean, we could, but then it would just be the first one that's clicked.
Yeah, we can do that.
We could. It would take a while.
I don't want to have to keep coming up with new suggestions for movies every week. I will kill myself.
What? You're doing that anyway.
Yes, right. And then just get added to the wheel. And eventually...
You're gonna have to come up with a new movie now because yours got picked.
Yeah.
For the 40th week in a row.
Dark Knight Rises.
That movie is bad, bro.
You are peeking the hell out of the mic right now.
That movie is butt cheeks. If you like that more than Alita, that'll lead you. That movie's a slog. Was Tom Hardy in that movie? First your spirit or your back.
I wonder what will be broken first, your spirit or your body.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you for watching this episode of the Cheapest Podcast. It's nearly 11 o'clock at night. It's time to go to bed soon. And sayonara, coup d'etat. I love you guys. And I'm gonna go have a Klondike bar. Good night.
I was just gonna say that.